So hello everyone and welcome to our tutorial for week 7. This is the second part that we are recording in Springfield. And we're going to continue talking about the validity of contracts. And we're going to start with this question. So this is page 259. Okay, and it says, Brad always had a weekly lotto ticket. Okay, one Saturday his numbers came up and he claimed that he had won a prize. But the defendants refused to pay, claiming that they had never received his coupon. He claimed that a binding contract existed between the parties. The defendant relied on this clause in the lotto coupon. It's a basic condition of the sending in and acceptance of this coupon that's intended and agreed that the conduct of the lotto and everything done in connection therewith and all arrangements relating thereto, whether mentioned in these rules or to be implied, and this coupon and any arrangement, agreement transaction entered into or payment made by or under it shall not be attended by or give rise to any legal relationship, rights, duties, or consequences whatsoever, or be legally enforceable or the subject of litigation, but all such arrangements, agreements, and transactions are binding in honor only. So this whole thing, we studied, this is something written a long time ago. That's not how they write these days. And it was on this coupon. So the question for us, do you think Brad will be successful in claiming his winnings? I don't want to hear someone saying yes. I don't want to hear someone saying no. I don't want to hear someone saying maybe or it depends. I want to go through the analytical structure. What do we have here? The parties are whom and whom?
The lotto.
Yeah, the lotto company and Brad. Who's taking whom to court? Most likely Brad, because he thinks there's a contract, so he wants the money. Great. What is the premise? What premise? This is a ticket. So, yeah, this is a ticket. So in order for you to get a ticket, you have to buy the ticket. What kind of thing do you use to buy and sell? Contracts. And of course, you're told in the question, it's about contracts. Great. So he's saying there's a binding contract. What is he saying? He's saying a contract exists and the contract is valid. In order for a contract to exist, we start with the agreement. Is there an agreement between the parties?
If he purchases a ticket, then yes. Because...
Yeah. Because?
The company is saying, buy this ticket to go into this, and he bought it.
Uh-huh.
So that's a contract. If he purchased one.
So here's the idea. He purchased a lotto ticket. And the lotto ticket came up, the numbers came up, so he won a prize. The company is saying, we're not obliged to pay you anything. What do you think? Because of what? So which part of all of this jargon that they are relying on, really? What's the key word or phrase that they're relying on in all of that? Yeah, where does it say that? Yeah, that's the one right there. Because they say it's binding in honor only. What does that mean? Do they intend to create a legally binding relationship when they say in honor only? So this is then taking you back to the second element that we talked about in terms of creating legal relationships. In what? In a business context. So the presumption is that they are intending to do so, but it's rebutted by this fact. Okay? So basically it says, this question is based on a case from 1938. That's why they don't write with this kind of language anymore, in which the same clause was included on a lost lotto ticket. So you can go to those pages 2041, 2054, you read more about that case. In that case, the court held that the clause was effective, i.e. it prevented any action by the winner, okay, and therefore Brad would not be successful in claiming his winnings. Anyone who wants to argue differently? Yes, Bill.
Well, not argue differently, but it never states that he bought the ticket on Saturday. It only claimed he buys a weekly ticket.
Where did Saturday come in?
On your previous slide.
On the previous slide, it said...
See, there's one Saturday his numbers came up.
Okay.
It hasn't stated whether he's bought it for Saturday. It only says weekly tickets.
Okay. But again, don't go like that. This is a rabbit hole. So don't go like that. All that you have to see in front of you is that someone won money, a prize, based on the ticket, and now they don't want to pay him. The question is, do they have to or not? Is there a contract that forces them to pay, or they're saying simply binding in honor only? So, again, do you agree with this result? Do you think this would happen in 2017, or it would be different today? It would be different today. Someone says it would be different today. Why do you think it would be different today? I've been neglecting this side so many times.
Well, I think that if he's placing the same numbers every time, and he's got an account where he's set up that he pays it every week for a lotto ticket, that they would have it on record in their system that yes, he's purchased it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any other arguments? So she's saying this is not going to happen in 2017. No way. Any other argument? That's, if you agree or disagree with her? Someone from this side, someone from that side. Okay, because it's someone different. We don't want the kiwi, yeah? We don't like kiwis.
They're basing their argument that they never received the actual coupon from him.
Okay.
So if you need to claim the prize, you need to have the coupon to claim it.
Okay.
That's what I'm inferring from them saying that.
Okay. So you're saying the reason for this is that it was a lost lotto ticket, right?
Yeah.
But this is a lost lotto ticket. What about this scenario? Is that a lost lotto ticket?
Basic condition of sending in an acceptance of the coupon.
Okay.
So even if you sent it in, they didn't receive it, so there was no acceptance of the coupon.
Yeah.
No, but they're saying that everything we've done with you is binding in honor only. And that's where I want you to go. You really believe that anyone is going to buy a lotto ticket with this kind of condition or this kind of clause in 2017? We're friends.
I guess so they're just kind of like, oh, you...
Yeah, if I want to pay you, I'll pay you. If I don't want to pay, I will not pay you, but you can't take it to court.
That's bollocks.
What would happen in 2017 if I present you with this kind of lotto ticket?
There are laws against that kind of thing.
Number one, this would not actually fly because it would be illegal. Number two,
You'll end up being attacked by the media.
yes, but what else? Thinking about market forces.
The public will not want to buy tickets.
And more importantly, someone else will provide that guarantee. So I will, if I find that this is what's happening in the market, I will give you a lotto ticket that says I want to be legally bound. See, that's how I'm going to take the market share from them. Back in 1938, maybe there were different social attitudes towards gambling. So that's why you would find, in honor only. Yes?
And that kind of brings up the question, what's the point in buying a ticket in the first place? What's the point in having a lottery if there's nothing to gain from it?
So why do you think that was there? In order for them to tell people this is not a way to make money.
So really,
Because again, it's 38. 1938. Today, people think people think it's okay. In fact, they binge on gambling.
charities offer gambling these days.
Even so, this is why I keep telling you about, remember what we said in week 1? Let's just move on. What we said in week 1 about how the law evolves. We said it evolves from society, same-sex marriage, for example. It evolves from society. What does society want? Back then, they didn't want people to think, oh, this is okay. We're going to gamble to make money. It's just for fun. Because who's going to get his numbers to win, you see? Today, people will not accept that. In fact, there was just recently something about someone from Iraq winning the lotto in the US. Okay, we'll leave it there. Let's continue now, and just one more question, we'll wrap it, all right? This one. No, this one not, because it's the same place. Let's go, I've looked at this. Okay, let's do this one, because this was one of the exam questions from a previous exam. Now, this is straight from the textbook, with the exact names, with the exact facts. I haven't changed anything. Okay, this time around, it will be a bit different, because you have the textbook and it's open, meaning that you will have the question and its answer. So it will be a bit different, in order for us to see that you... So let's go through it quickly. George is 73 and is mid-stages of dementia. What is dementia? Yes?
That's when your
Why the Kiwi want to talk about it?
that's when your brain reverts back to like previous parts in your life, I think, where it's kind of like you start remembering.
So what is the main characteristic of someone with dementia? Forgetful. So they forget stuff. Is that a mental illness? i.e., is that going to reduce your capacity to understand so that you cannot make the first element of agreement? Yes. Anyone wants to say otherwise? No? Why? Why? Do you think that dementia is a mental element? Okay, let's leave it there. Let's come back to it later. This guy, 73, mid-stages of dementia. Not late stages, mid-stages. His wife, on whom he had relied for many years, died some 3 years ago. He owns his home outright, okay? And there's no mortgage on it. Yeah, that's the key point. And it's currently valued at $450,000. He receives a widow's pension and has a number of small investments, adding up in total to something like $400 per week. He's completely reliant on Lily, his daughter. Lily convinces him to approach a finance company for an agreement, okay, to borrow $60,000. She tells her father that this money was needed for an operation on his grandson. But it was actually for a business venture that Lily wanted to enter into. Immediately, what comes to your mind? Any analogies?
A lie.
Yes, like which case?
The love case.
The love case. Okay, so you have the love case in your textbook. You see something like this, you're going to go and look at it, okay, to see whether you can use it in your answer. All right. So there was an application, okay, to this finance company with the daughter's help, and she filled out the entire application because this guy is with dementia. So just like an Italian couple that don't know how to speak English, is that the same? After Easy Finance investigated his financial background, it approved his loan, okay, on the basis of this mortgage. A first mortgage was taken out over the property being his home. When George attended the loan company's office with Lily, unlike in Amadio, the bank did not go to their home. They asked them to come to their office. Does that make any difference? It wasn't necessary for him to consult a solicitor. Who said that? An employee told him that as the loan was for less than $100,000, you don't need to consult a solicitor. This is very strong, right, compared to Amadio, where the bank just didn't say anything. Now, his daughter is there, okay, so therefore there was no need to take the papers away to read or to get independent advice. Further, here we go. Lily told him that she had read through the documents and that there was nothing to worry about. That's the bit I was talking about, when you can take a Madio and just upload that part into that fact scenario and see what the students are going to say. Oh, let's continue. Further, Lily told them that she had read through the documents and that there was nothing to worry about. So George said, no worries. Okay? So George was not told what happened, what would happen rather, if Lily failed to make the repayments on the loan, nor did he think to ask. Why? Why do you think he didn't want to ask? Because the money is needed for what? For an operation of his grandson. It doesn't, I will give you my life. He doesn't know what the money is for. The repayments on the loan, okay, 2,000 per calendar month. So per week, what? 500 per week, compared to an income of 400. And in fact, exceeded George's monthly pension entitlements. 3 months into the loan, Lily of course defaulted, and now the company wants the house. So, your job, advise George. Advise George, considering both the common law position and the statutory position. What do they mean by the statutory position? The first thing that will come to your mind is the
Contract.
statute. What act are they talking about? What act have I mentioned so far?
There's like a million acts in there.
I know, but I mentioned only. I love it. So I said something about one act. This is introduction to law, folks, right? Introduction to law. I don't. Thank you. It's introduction to law. I don't expect you to know the law. No one knows the law. No one cares about knowing the law. It's about you finding what you need. Okay. So the first thing that comes to mind, the parties, what they want. You hopefully understand that this is about unconscionable conduct. And you have to go through the 4 elements. I'm not going to do that, okay? But they say things like, on the first element, special advantage, again, or disadvantage, includes poverty, so in the second paragraph, need, sickness, age, gender, intoxication, okay? So let's just make sure that everybody sees what I'm talking about. I'm not saying, just make sure that I'm just saying that this was there in a previous exam. I'm not saying anything about this exam. Okay? Just to be clear. No inferences, please. Okay? Poverty, need, sickness, age, gender, intoxication, illiteracy or lack of education, or lack of assistance or explanation where assistance or explanation is necessary. So they say George is elderly, 73, completely reliant on his daughter, and suffering dementia. Okay, he clearly suffers from a special advantage. George's situation is similar to that of Amadio. So I expect that if there's an answer to this question, an exam, and blah, 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 blah. What else you think I might put in the answer guide and expect you to talk about if that was an exam question? Lewis.
Lily's dependence. Oh, sorry, George's dependence on Lily, so Lily kind of has some sort of power over.
So who are the parties again? So this is why we start from the basics. Who is taking whom to court?
The bank is taking
George to court, and George is the counter premise is gonna be what? The contract is voidable because of unconscionable conduct. It has nothing to do necessarily with Lily, it has to do with the bank's conduct. What was the bank's conduct that really you're going to try to force in your answer? Yes?
They didn't mention things like what would happen if he defaulted.
What happens if you default? More importantly, what did the employee say? If it's under 100,000, you don't need it. Now, let's go back and talk about Lily. Who are the parties again? The bank and George. So in your answer sheet, you're planning, you're saying George v. the bank. Maybe not the bank v. George. Okay, what else? Lily. Where do you go for Lily? And your influence?
relationship
Special
there is.
disability wasn't a special disadvantage because she kind of lied to
Okay,
him.
okay. What do you want? Do you want her to be punished? Are you going to go and say there's a contract between them, knowing that there's a father and daughter? Or?
He wasn't to punish her.
So where do you go? What do you want? Are you going to go after the contract law? Is that what you want? You want her to pay money? You think she has money? She's going to give you money?
Just mediation, right?
The only thing you can get out of Lily is what? Nothing in terms of money, but what could you do? What could you do? You could punishment. So if you want to punish her, you have to go to criminal law. What in criminal law do you think Lily might come under?
Taking advantage of
Okay. How about fraud? Have we spoken about fraud before?
Like the payment that she said it was for, you could show the receipts or
No.
documentation.
She tricked him into thinking it is something that's necessary for his grandson. In fact, it has nothing to do with his grandson. More importantly, had he known that it is something that has to do with business, he might have said, but what is the situation of your company? Or at least then, maybe even the employee would have to stress that there's in fact this possibility. But just folks, all I'm saying, if that comes as an exam question, don't just rely on the answer that's given to you. That's not fair, right? That's part of the answer that we're looking for. But you might also check things under dementia. Is that a mental illness? Is there an issue now around validity in terms of being able to understand the capacity? And if that's the case, how can you argue to get George out of the contract? Okay? And as well, the criminal law part where you could go also after Lily. So that's why we keep saying, start from the top, please. Go with the parties. Once you're happy with the parties, look at their objectives. Once you're happy with the objectives, look at the premises, because there could be more than one. And finally, identify the elements and look at the facts to see where the issue is. Now you're finished with your planning or thinking. So this should take maybe 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You're not writing anything really. You're just writing a few words on the side. Don't cross anything out. Let the markers see that you have done so. And then you will go with the top of the page, ILAC issue 1. All of that time, 5-10 minutes, is to get to issue 1. All right. I think we'll leave it here for today. Okay? It's sunny outside again, so I think it's a good time to say that it's still raining, is it? I see sun here, I don't know. But we're going to wrap it up at this.
not the sun, that's just the sun of a walk, sunlight.
All right. So we're going to say we're going to stop here and we'll start again from chapter 14 in Tumba on Monday. Thank you.